And welcome to another edition of 7 Questions With, brought to you by Jersey Mike's A Sub Above. We continue rolling around the Shore Conference to chat with all of the new head coaches this season, a large group, 9 of them, maybe the largest ever. And we go south on the map as far as we can go to Tuckerton, home of the Pinelands Regional Wildcats and home of John Tierney, a teacher there, former head basketball coach there. And now the head football coach of the Wildcats, that taking place this offseason as Matt Fuller stepped down after 5 seasons. And John inherits a program. I'll go right on the positive side. 4-5 a year ago with a chance to post a winning season going into their last game before falling just short. So former freshman head coach, now varsity head coach, John Tierney joins us. Coach, thanks so much for giving us a few minutes.
Kevin, thank you so much for having me on. You know, you're a legend in the Shore Conference. You've done so much for the Shore Conference. For me to be able to sit here on the computer with you is just an absolute, you would say almost a dream. So, you know, thank you very much for doing this.
Legend is another way of saying old. Just remember that. There's no young legends. They're only old. But thank you for those nice words. Listen, you are familiar with the Pinelands program. I mean, you teach in the district, you've coached there. It's a program that has really struggled to find success. It's been a long, long time between winning seasons. And you're a teacher there, as I said. So what made you decide to seek the head coaching position at a school that really has not known success in football in many, many years?
Number one is, you know, always a dream to be a head football coach at Pinelands. I've applied for that job before. This time, I think the administration finally saw I was ready. I wasn't ready the last couple of times, but I know the kids down there. I know the kids, what they can be, what they want to be, and you know, it was time. It was time to give this head coaching thing a shot.
And you got that shot. Clearly, when a program does not have success, it's often hard to get student athletes even to participate. Everyone wants to play on a winner. We know that. But it's hard when a program has struggled. So have you seen that, or what have you done, quote unquote, in walking the halls to try and make sure you get a decent turnout for your freshman and varsity levels?
I think the kids see my energy. I'm a very energetic person. You know, and I have to convince them, like, when I'm yelling, I'm not yelling negative things. I'm yelling energy. I'm just a passionate person, no matter what I'm doing. I mean, you know, whether it's basketball, whether it's girls flag football, whether it's 7A track, I'm bringing my passion. And I think the kids who were on the border of not playing or playing, we got some of them. We didn't get some of them because some of them were a little bit scared off by, you know, my energy. But I'll say one thing, and it's nothing I did. It just happens. The years I've coached at Pinelands, it was always hard to get back-to-back classes. So you know, and right now we have 3 pretty good classes in a row. Our freshman program had a nice showing the other day in the scrimmage, and then you look down the line, it's our 7-8 team is going to be, you know, it's going to be very good this year. So you're talking about getting back-to-back classes. Our senior class, the leadership is excellent. There's some athletes out there. There's some good football players. Our junior class is a little bit small, but they can all play the game of football, every single one of them. And then our sophomore class had a lot of success, just like our juniors did at the freshman 7-8 level. And it's just building back-to-back classes.
Now, listen, you have in your tenure been a part of successful programs. You were an assistant coach at Lacey for many years. Lacey has always been a perennial Shore Conference power. Basketball wise, you've been part of the Ranney staff for the last few years, and everyone in the Shore Conference knows about that. So what can you take from those successful programs and try and bring to Pinelands?
The number one thing is you got to do all the small things right, no matter what. It's all about the little things. Little things, big things don't happen without little things. So, you know, I tell in our first staff meeting with our coaches, said the number one thing this year is we, you know, turn off the lights and lock the doors. And it's, you know, if we can do that right, and we can clean the field up and leave places better than we found it, that'll translate on the football field. And, you know, it's also, I mean, it's hard to say as a head coach, because obviously we all want to be on the positive side of the scoreboard, but it's about the process. You know, you can't become attached to the final score. because you might do things right and you may lose a game. You may do things wrong and you may win a game. You got to learn and just keep going and keep building. And, you know, obviously I stole the quote from probably one of the greatest head coaches ever to do it, is just do your job. You know, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in the community, whether it's on the football field, whether it's no matter what you do, just do your job and everything else will take care of itself.
All right, so you touched on it briefly. You coached the Pinelands girls flag football team last season and seemed to have a lot of fun doing it. What was that experience like?
So it's been the last 2 years, and I'll be honest with you, the first day I got home from practice, number one, it was like 38 degrees out. It was freezing. I got these girls running around, and it was the COVID year, so I had a lot of girls that were playing volleyball. And we did our offense. Now we go to our defense. I said to the one girl, I go, okay, you're going to be the Sam. She goes, but my name is Molly. I said, but you're going to be the Sam linebacker in our 4-3. And I'm just explaining it. And I go, okay, so you're the Sam. And the girl who's playing strong safety goes, no, I'm Sam. I'm Sam. And I was like, all right, bring it in. Let's go. And I said to my wife, I was like, I'm not sure if I can do this. But there was a point in the season, and I got so close. Those girls were so awesome. And it was just, you know, the first time we've ever done it. So obviously, you know, they're trendsetters in the school, they're trendsetters in the shore conference, they're trendsetters in the state. At some point the entire season, all 27 of those girls, it clicked and they got it. And I was like, everything we're doing is completely worth it. So it was a lot of fun.
It was a good experience.
Yes.
It was a good experience. You know, I did mention kind of in my opening that last year's team went 4-5, and they had a chance in their last game. They were 4-4 going into their last game to post the first winning season for Pineland since 2004 winning season. You have a lot of those kids back. So does this build on what happened last year?
100%. I mean, number one, there wasn't many changes in my staff. So those guys are very familiar with the players. Coach Adelizi does a great job with the defense. I mean, our first scrimmage, our defense was playing really, really well. And then you take, you know, guys like Ryan Allen, Mike Hall, Jack O'Brien, Connor Bonneke. These guys know, they know what it takes to win. You know, they won 4 times last year, and winning it's tough, it's hard. And you know, I think combine that with what they did last year and just a little bit of, you know, the energy that I'm bringing in the new offense. You know, these guys have all bought in. And it's hard to get seniors on your first year to buy in. I did it with basketball, and not every senior bought in. They're like, I only got 1 year left. And all of these seniors have bought in. And that's a tremendous, you know, to their parents, to, you know, to Coach Fuller, that these kids are about playing football.
So tell me a little bit about what your offense and defense will look like. How much change from what's previous to regime?
Obviously last year they were much tighter. They had tighter splits. You know, they ran basically a single wing. I'm going to call us a multi-eye, even though we're a pistol now. We're going to be in 10 personnel. We're going to be 11 personnel, 21, 22. We're going to jump around. You know, but everything is off of the eye offense. And, you know, anybody who's, you know, ever coached with Coach Rosillo knows everything comes off of power. You know, every play in our playbook comes off of power. So we're, you know, our fullbacks will be really good at kicking out that defensive end, and our backs will hold it tight, and everything else will come off of that.
Ryan Allen is your returning starting quarterback, and I believe he led the team in rushing last season, 622 yards and 7 touchdowns, threw only 66 passes. Are we going to see similar numbers from him this year?
He will run the ball a little bit. I think at sometimes because he ran the ball so much, he got a little bit, he got tired. I think against Lakewood, he ran the ball 29, 30 times. I don't want anybody run the ball 29, 30 times. You know, unless his name is Barry Sanders or Emmett Smith, you know, or Matt McLean. You know, I don't want those guys running the ball. I want to be more of a little bit spread, give our receivers, you know, we're going to run some bubbles. We're going to run some quick game. You know, Jamin Parkinson and who's a sophomore, Eric Kabilnik, Connor Bonneke again is going to be our tailbacks. You know, spread the ball out a little bit more. But I mean, other than that, I mean, football is football. You know, line up, block the guy in front of you, and get 4 yards.
Listen, every team wants to win their first game, and in all these coaches I'm chatting with, you all have one thing in common. Yes, you want to win your first game. It's also your first ever game as a head coach, and in many cases, at a place that has not had a lot of success. Now, you open up with Point Beach at home. That's a team you beat last year. So is it really important to you personally and for the team to get off to a good start and win that opener?
Again, I don't want to be attached to the outcome. So it's really important that we look good, we look sharp, our sidelines is into the game. You know, we run onto the field, we run off the field. No pre-snap penalties, no post-snap penalties. All those things are big. You know, Coach Cohen is doing a heck of a job over there. You know, and he's got a legend back with him also. And you know, I think I was looking through the other day. We returned 9 on offense, 9 on defense, and the only team in the Shore Conference that returns more is Point Beach, and they returned 10 and 9. So you know, and they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready to play. You know, they're going to go to a little bit of a new offense also with the wing tee. They ran a little bit of wing tee last year, but it'll be a little more, you know, with the wing tee blocking up front. Their kids come to play. We know them very well, and you know, obviously, do you want the scoreboard to be greater on your side? Absolutely. But it's more about, you know, how do we show ourselves? How do we come off as a team?
I always like, and it's kind of my last question, I like asking these new coaches, you know, when you get elevated to a position like this, and you know, listen, you played the game, you were an all-shore lineman at Mater Dei, you played at Towson, so you've played the game, you played the game with success, but you also know to be a head coach, you got to put a lot of time in. Football's a 12-month sport. It's changed so much, and you have to have support at home to be a head football coach, because you know it's that old line, bye honey, see you right after Thanksgiving, you know, kind of thing. So how about your situation at home? Is the family bought into you making this commitment?
100%. First off, you know, you mentioned I played at Towson. I'm a former FCS player. You started for 4 years down there. And when I sit at my dinner table, I'm the second best athlete in the family. So my wife was an All-American soccer player at Westchester for 2 or 3 years. Our older daughter played soccer. She joined crew and she became like an All-American crew. She didn't even know that you only go backwards. An hour and a half into her first practice, she asked, when do we go forward? Our other son is up at St. Anselm kicking. He's a kicker up there and a punter. And then our other daughter doesn't really play much, but she knows about being the coach's daughter. And then our youngest is a sophomore at Central. So my wife sort of looked at me like, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, I got to do this." And last night we were talking, and she's like, "Well, you play Tom's River East, and Liam plays Tom's River North, so I can go to the first half of the Tom's River North game and go to the second." She's going to miss the first game because our son's kicking. They open up. St. Anselm's opens up the same night, and Liam opens up the same night with Central. So she's like, "Well, I got so and so going here, so I can get updates, and I'll be up there." But she is 100% behind me. And you know, last night I texted her something. She's like, "Well, you need to move so and so to fullback." I was like, "Whoa, let's slow down a little." So no, she was with us the entire time through the TOC run. You know, our families went down to North Carolina together. So she knows, and she knows it's like I said, I'm a passionate guy, and she knows where my passion is, and you know, she loves me doing this.
John, I've known you a long time. You are the right person in the right place at the right time. I wish you much success, however you want to define success. I wish you much success at Pinelands. Have a great season, and we'll look forward to talking to you down the road.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on it. Really, thank you all you guys do. You know, these kids will have it forever. The fact that Shore Sports Network is here, and they can go back and show how good they were. And this is just awesome. Thank you so much.
John Tierney, the new head coach at Pinelands Regional, new coach, but not a new face at the home of the Wildcats, and we wish him luck. We will continue over the next week to chat with the new head coaches around the Shore Conference as they get ready for the season openers. Thanks for watching 7 Questions With, brought to you by Jersey Mike's. Always a sub above, Kevin Williams, and of course, keep it on the Shore Sports Network for the best football coverage all season long.